We also, in this opportunity, were very active. We have met our fellow organizations, and a lot of our members took part on this summit with the presentations, etc. I don't think that I have to insist to that. We were all there active, and we do remember how successful this General Assembly was. And of course, I take the opportunity to thank once again the hosting organ and President Neiro Ayres. And of course, Fernando, who was the very, let's say, the organizing mind behind all of that. We, as you know, follow some of the actions of the Construction 2020 strategy for the construction sector. And one of the most, let's say, the actions we do really follow is the first thematic group, which is, let's say, having to do with stimulating investments in building, renovation, and infrastructure. And the latest meeting in 8 November was followed by our Vice President, Andreas Bradner, who could have the opportunity after my presentation, if he wants to add some few items. The thematic is there, you can see it. And of course, the only comment I would like to do is that from my experience during these, let's say, meetings, there is not much time left for participants to express themselves. Really, they normally they have a very monologue, some kind of monologue from those which were, I'm seeing from the part of the commission or some rapporteurs they bring, and little time is left to stakeholders to express themselves. Next, please, Maria. The next slide is our participation in Brussels on the, let's say, of the Liberal Professions Day, which was a good opportunity to try to promote our, say, point of view, but there also, if with the exemption of Klaus's, he was presenting a paper there. After that, we did not really have the time to say a few things, but you realize that a profession based on trust and on the close relation between client and professional is very difficult to have all these ideas about artificial intelligence and etc. We don't think that it will be easy, this digital, let's say, future to change dramatically this close relation between client and professional in, let's say, knowledge-based professions like us. Please, let's see the next slide. Well, by this opportunity, I tried to meet a parliamentarian from Greece, Ms. Simakopoulou, not only as a member of the parliament, but she is also a member of the Committee of the Internal Market, which is the IMCO, which is dealing mostly with our, let's say, interests. And with this opportunity, I gave her all the papers we had. I mean, the proclamation of 2020 as 3S year. And our recent, at the time, declaration on the protection of engineers' chambers, which are now under some kind of attack by new ideas that chambers and organizations like this are useless. The construction 2050, which was just in, let's say, in fabrication at the time, and our position paper, which is the appropriate regulation, because also the deregulation process is ongoing. And we were announced the Engineers' Day, and we tried to invite Ms. Asmakopoulou, but with the coronavirus, this did not proceed. Maria, please. Please, Maria. Then, during the, let's say, the Lisbon Assembly, we had, of course, we participated also to ECCE General Assembly. And as you know, our relation with ECCE are very close. Please, Maria. Of course, it was also, we did participate into WCCE assembly, and we had a common expo meeting with WCCE expo. Please. All at the same time, we had the opportunity to join also the EAMC General, to follow the General Assembly of the EAMC. And as you can see, I was appointed again as member of representative of ECCE, which is an international member to EAMC, and I was re-elected as our appointee. Maria. So then we had a symposium of the Association of European Civil Engineering Faculties, which was in cooperation with a cooperation between universities and industry in education and deployment of civil engineers. And in this opportunity, ECCE was represented by our immediate past president, Vladimir Simzak, who maybe would like to say a few words after I finish my presentation. Please, next, Maria. Then I had an invitation by the Colegio in Spain in the opportunity of the 8th National Civil Engineering Congress in Spain, which was held in Madrid. And I represented their ECCE, and I had the opportunity to speak with the previous president, Mr. Santamera, to meet a lot of, let's say, expo members of Colegio, and also the cultural heritage responsible, with the opportunity of making a small presentation in the session about cultural heritage, from which the last photo is presenting the problems of structural engineers concerning the rehabilitation and renovation programs when it is about cultural heritage items, I mean monuments, buildings or infrastructure monuments, bridges, etc. Please, Maria. And then it was a meeting in Paris was planned on the 3rd of March, if I remember well, because it was let's say, the opportunity of the UNESCO had, let's say, appointed the 4th of March as Engineers' Day, which is important also. It's not mentioned here, but because it didn't really happen, but I was prepared to represent ECCE in this opportunity in UNESCO premises in Paris. And in this opportunity, I had also arranged to meet the French civil engineers and the president of the civil engineering section of the organization of scientists of France, because they have not their own organization. And I mean, they act inside the, let's say, the scientific federation, which I don't remember the name, but it's a pity because the first really civil engineering organization was founded in France before even ICE. And well, with the years, it seems that architects were the only kind to survive with independent organizations from our common, let's say, construction scientists. So I participated in by teleconference to this high-level tripartite forum, which was also on the first time that we were aware about the renovation wave, which was launched, was about to be launched by the Commission in the framework of the Green Deal, of course. But it is a great opportunity for our profession to, let's say, to try to give to this initiative of the Commission a more holistic approach, for which we will have the opportunity to speak a little bit later. Please, Maria. Of course, the same applies here as the absence of any opportunity of, let's say, taking the floor and have the time to say your opinion. This is a very, very last, let's say, new. It was held just a few days before. You see, 3 days before. It was 20 October. But it is supposed to be on the same, let's say, initiative as the renovation wave, but it is the first time that there is a European, let's say, project which is officially trying to combine the two needs of seismic and energy efficiency upgrading of existing buildings. I will have the opportunity to say a few words later, but I tried to contact these people, and although I didn't attend this event, which was attended by Dimitar and by Platonas, I had 2 days before, I had a little conference with the, let's say, the 3 officials which seem to be involved in this project. As if I understood well, Mrs. Dimova is the head of this team, and there are also 2 Greek engineers, Mr. Tsionis and Mr. I can't remember his name, which seem to be the, let's say, the steering committee. What I succeeded to learn, but I have no more information. We will to contact by this contact we have already, let's say, succeeded, try to learn some more things about it, because it is very crucial for us. And of course, try to find the decision or the mandate that the European Parliament has awarded this project to GRC. I have also asked from some parliamentarians to help us to find the appropriate information about this program, which, as I have learned, has appointed maybe 20 experts as a work team to elaborate it on detail, but I'll come again back to that. Maria, please. Now, our initiatives and partnerships, the year of 3S approach, I think we said we had enough presentation of this initiative of ours, which is, I think, a very successful um, project of ECCE, and it will help us to say to really affect on what is going on in Europe. Emilio has joined, and after my presentation, Maria, we will have the opportunity to give them the microphone. Please go on. I think we had a very good presentation. We also have, we have good relations with IAPSE, which happens that our previous President Fernando Branco is now presiding, and so we have accepted to give our support to this event of IAPSE, and also we give them floor to our, let's say, to our site, and we will continue informing our members with the IAPSE, let's say, events, and etc., because I think that they are in the close or in the heart of our profession, or whatever IAPSE does, and as structural engineers, it is on the heart of our profession. Please. And of course, we will give them our support in their activities. Now, this is an ongoing it's just taking shape. A new, let's say, the next situation after the ECF. As you can remember, ECF, the European Construction Forum, was some kind of a non-organized, let's say, open platform. You could join, you could say, there was no let's say, structure of an organization. It was, let's say, considered that this kind of, let's say, forum could not be efficient anymore. Until now, FIEC was the very heart and the host organization who was doing all the, let's say, all the job. They had all the responsibility about calling, having, giving the room for the meetings, etc., etc. It seems that this came to its limits, and FIEC would like to give a more organized form to that. And they have, although it is open to all of us, they have, we have renamed this as Construction Alliance, and it takes some organization, let's say, that has a committee, a small committee, in which the European Construction Equipment Organization, the Construction Products, the European Builders, and FIEC had some kind of steering committee within this Construction Alliance, for which there was a term that the organizations that could, let's say, take part on this steering committee should have a siège or offices on Brussels, which we are not able to, for the moment, to fulfill. So, although I would be, let's say, positive for our to take part of this short, let's say, organization, we had not the, let's say, the terms they were putting. Anyhow, we had co-signed some common papers there, I mean some declarations, and we take part of this construction alliance, which is trying to, after the, let's say, the conclusion of the 2020 strategy, it is now a much more ambitious framework to try to act for what could the vision for construction 2050 be. So this is under now shaping, it's shaping, and things are going to happen. I think we have a virtual meeting in 29 October, just to see for the next actions, and it could be possibly planned to be a real meeting in Brussels by the end of the year, but it's not decided yet. Maria, please. The renovation wave, I think it is the main community and it's a commission initiative that is going to take our time, but I think that it should be tackled also by the construction news. I pass it here. Maria, please. We have already contributed to this initiative by sending our position paper, which was really trying to put, of course, because the renovation wave is only energy oriented again. And although it seems that the community has understood that renovation without, let's say, taking care about what is under the skin has no meaning, the whole communication that we had from the Commission, dated of 14th of October, which has been a few days ago, still has no word about holistic approach of this renovation wave. So it seems that this, let's say, insulation industry lobby must be very, very strong in Brussels. I cannot explain things elsewhere. But to this also, I have a good say, news to share with you. I had a phone call by Fibran, which is industry about insulation material, which they told me that they have now a research ongoing, trying to combine insulation material with structural upgrading. But maybe I come back to that. So please, Maria, go on. So we have sent all this material to them. The coronavirus, we had, of course, made the declaration about the impact on the construction industry and the problems of, let's say, safety measures on construction sites, which is a very difficult issue. Let's go to next. We had made a common statement with all the European organizations which we are collaborating. Let's go to next. Then I come to the good news we have to our publication, let's say, business. It has already been printed. We have the reprinting of this first book, and we are ready to go on with the second. But as I think it is a distinct point on the agenda, I stop here. You have the opportunity to say a few words, and I would like to give the floor to Gorazd also to this opportunity. And we have, yes, I think that the expo works were very, very fruitful, and we didn't miss any expo meeting, and we had always prepared our very carefully our actions. And then the ECCE journal is, which is a face of our activities, should be put with your contributions, and Maria will be waiting for you to send your material you would like to see published in our journal. So this is my presentation. As I was speaking, I didn't have the opportunity to see the clock. It is supposed to, yes, we had, as we are half an hour in front, we are just in time. So I think that in this point, I can take questions if you like. Would you like to have something to ask me, or the? I'm sorry. Maybe Andreas would like to say a few things about the working group 1, and Vlodek for his presence on this meeting. And yes, Andreas, would you like to say something?
No, as I'm not prepared at all.
Okay.
You surprised me now.
Okay, but you can have the opportunity to speak, because we will speak back.
Yeah.
To this point, we come back to this point.
Okay, thank you.
Now, as it was postponed because of the time.
Aris, Dimitar is trying to say something.
I'm sorry, Dimitar.
Yes, thank you. Aris, thank you very much for the hard working for ECCE.
Huh?
Thank you very much for hard working for ECCE.
Oh, thank you.
For your work.
Thank you, Dimitar. Thank you very much. As you remember, we postponed the introduction of our invited guests, as we had, let's say, gone half an hour. We started half an hour earlier. So now the official time that we have invited our guests, and I think that we can continue giving the opportunity to those who are present to say a few words to our assembly. So as I've seen, Emilio is here, and I don't know if Aladithi is still here, or Nicola. I don't know who else is present, Maria.
I'm here.
Only Emilio Colon is here. I think Adil Al-Hadidi has already left because he had some other business. And Nicola
I'm here.
is not here because...
I'm here.
Oh, so... No, Emilio is yeah, okay. Nicola Monda is not here, so we can... Emilio can take the floor.
I am also here.
Oh, and Gorazd, of course.
Yes, yeah, but Gorazd is will speak on the you have some business to leave us, Gorazd, or you can attend, because we have there is a special point about ECCE publications. But if you want to say something now because you have to go, it's okay.
Hello to everybody, but just continue, please.
Okay. So
also I'm here.
Nikolai, welcome.
Yes, thank you very much. And our president also continue looking but because I will have some short presentations that is I'm here on my computer.
Okay, you want to you have a presentation to do?
No, not presentation, some oral words at the end when it would be open discussion at the end.
It will be later on, Aris, later on, after we finish with the presentation.
You are not a guest, you are a member, okay?
Yes, I know.
So, Emilio, please.
Mr. President, I would have one announcement if I can, please.
Yes, why not?
Yes, thank you very much. I would want to say hello to everybody. I have an announcement after Mr. President's speech about the Lisbon, what's going on in Lisbon. And as you know, the Chamber of Engineers of Montenegro was took literally overnight all competencies in 217 after the chamber did not give its consent to the proposed law. That law was bad, among other things, because it allowed illegal buildings up to 200 square meters to be legalized without seismic control, as Platona said. As you know, we raised this issue at the assembly in Podgorica last year, and I'm happy to inform you that we have managed to take back our competencies in the simple way in the meantime. The most simple way for Montenegrin was that we changed our government in the elections. So only a few days before the elections, in the attempt to correct the injustice to the chamber, government returned the competencies to the chamber, but it was too late for them. These days we are waiting for the formation of a new government in order to start the process of complete amendment of the 2017 law. So the things in the meantime were changed in the Montenegro, and I'm hopefully think that it will be in 2 or 3 next months. It will be ended the thing we had. Thank you.
So it is very good news, and we are happy to hear that. So congratulations, and it will be a lot of work for you to do to go back to take your place on the Montenegro society.
Thank you very much. I know that's why I wanted to say an announcement after the
whatever help you need to assist you, and so we are here.
Thank you very much.
Well done, Nicola. Well done.
Maybe in this point I should give the floor to Nikolai also, because I don't know.
No, Aris, we have arranged it with Nikolai. He will make the announcement at the end. So I think Emilio, as an invited guest, can take the floor.
Know what was Nicola?
Okay. I have arranged it with Nikolai Kiriukin myself, so don't worry about it.
Backyard arrangements I don't recognize. Okay? So, Emilio, sorry for the interruption.
It's okay. Good morning to all. For me, it's in the morning. I'm really happy to participate at a distance. Too bad we missed our meeting in Malta, and maybe sometime in late 2021 we'll be able to meet together. I do want to advance to you that the WCCE is making some adjustments, and we're going to have independent committee meetings during the month of November. The Committee on Construction, which I'm heading, will be meeting sometime in the middle of November too. We'll be announcing that very shortly. We have been doing webinars since May. We've had very successful process in the Americas. We've had over 15 webinars, and we've also tried some from Europe, but the attendance has been low, and we'll be restarting them to see how we can get this process. It's a very nice format. It's 1 hour of presentations and 1 hour of discussion, which have been very good. So I'm happy to be with you all. Even though we're at a distance, we're getting used to this new mode of communications and talking. And for all, stay well, protect yourself. And thank you, Paris.
Thank you, Emilio. And I was trying to guess which is the font I was in, but it was Malta, of course. As I have not ever been to your countries, I thought that maybe what I was seeing was San Juan, but it's not.
No, you're saying
it's Malta.
You're saying our El Morro fortress, which was completed in the mid 1500s. It was the defense of main source is the defense of the entrance to San Juan Harbor during Spanish times.
So I hope that I will have the opportunity to join you there. Okay.
Well, anytime you want.
if things go better.
Okay.
Is there any other invited guest, or maybe Goras would like to speak here? Although, if he has time, I would prefer that he would speak after now, because the second point is ECCE publications. It's in an item of the agenda. So maybe I do my presentation to that, and then I give the floor to Goras. Is it okay, Goras?
It is okay, thank you.
Okay. So maybe I have to ask you if there is any other question for the activity report. If not, we can go to the second item of my presentation, which is the ECCE publications. Maria, we have a slide presentation slide ready for that. So ECCE publications has a good tradition in our organization. We have already printed two great big books, and one smaller, the notes, as you know it. The two first books took a huge volume of work, and it was proved to be a very difficult issue. But thanks to Goras, we do have two, let's say, historic ECCE books. And now we have started a series of smaller ones, which can take 1 year or something. And so we have now we are glad to see the reprint of the first, this small series of small books, the notes of history of civil engineering, which is reprinted now. Maybe it's already on the post to come to you. And in this book is just a small addition in my part, which contains and also a section for the Greek civil engineers history, which was not put on the first volume because we had maybe I had the second thought of making to work it again and be a separate, let's say, something to be published separately. But unfortunately, my obligations do not allow me to make it now, to elaborate it anymore. So it was published on this second edition. Let's go on, Maria. The factors that contributed to this edition, you have the previous slide, Maria. I mean, the editor-in-chief, it was Goras. The technical advisor was Paul. The editorial board was Goras, Platonas, Jeanette, Andreas, me, Paris Karlaftis, Paul, and Jose. And proofreading was a man from Ljubljana. Let's go on. These are the, let's say, some numbers about it. What is very, let's say, astonishing is that the price comes only €2.85 per book, because they already had the material, etc. Changes to do. Please, Maria, go on. And this is then the list of orders we have for the moment, and there will be a stock of 2,073 books for ECCE, Maria. Okay, I don't think there's anything new here. Let's go on. And then the good thing is that we are now preparing the second volume of the books, which I think we have some material enough to start, but there is still time if some organizations would like to, to finish what they are doing. I have in mind, see, Russia and Moscow friends have promised to send us something about the history of Russian civil engineers. There is still time that maybe we can include on the second edition, even one more, let's say, text, if it comes within this month. So we have material from Spain, UK, Malta, France, and Turkey. Turkey is, let's say, some kind of very small text, and I will ask our colleagues from Turkey if they can do something more extended. But for the moment, this is what we have. And we have provided 5,000 euro in our budget for this book. So with this, I think it ends my presentation. And I would like to say that all this activity is made possible for ECCE thanks to the Goraz's work, which is given to ECCE for his history lover and a book lover. So, and besides his knowledge and etc., he has obtained also an editor's expertise and maybe a printer's one. But I would like to call Goraz now to take the microphone. Please, Goraz.
Thank you, Aris. I'm happy to be with you. So, you know, the ECCE has quite a long tradition in producing books. In the year 2009, we have printed the first book regarding the civil engineering. It was presented in Helsinki. In 2014, the second book regarding footbridges with a presentation in Warsaw. And exactly 2 years ago, on the same day in London, there was a presentation of the book Notes on the History of Civil Engineering. So just this week, the extended reprint, as Aris already mentioned, of this book was executed and is ready for dispatching. Next week, the recipients, the countries, ECCE members that have ordered this book will receive this book by the TNT carrier. So the book is extended for 8 pages. I think it will be interesting for everybody. And in the last time, CNI from Italy decided to buy an additional quantity of books. You know that the price of the book is less than €3. If I'm talking as Humar Goraz, I could say that I expected some more orders, but maybe we could make some more publicity within ECCE to print more copies. But regardless, we are continuing on the preparation of the second book, which is extension of the first one on the notes of civil engineering history. As Aris mentioned, there are already 5 articles from 5 different countries ready. And I'm inviting all other ECCE members to prepare a presentation. It is not necessary that it is a long one. Even can be 6, 8, 10 pages. But when we shall collect, I hope within the end of this year, all contributions, we can start with the book preparation. And I believe, I'm convinced that the book could be ready to be ready in May next year. So I repeat, May next year, I expect the second volume of the notes. So even later, we can continue collecting articles from different countries, and we can, if we have this wish and this capacity, we can continue on printing number 3 or even more, as depending on received articles. So I believe that also the price of the book will be very low, as all our books were had low prices, especially reprints, because when we make a reprint of a book, most of expenses were done before, while printing the first edition of the book. Reprint is much cheaper, because it is only a machine preparation cost and paper cost. So now the recipients who will receive this book will pay less than €3 per copy. So this is, if you have something to add, I believe I explained more or less everything.
So, thank you again. It's thanks to you we can, let's say, have this section of our activities, which is the publishing. We are, let's say, we are not so far being a publishing house. If we continue, we could be a publishing house, which is would be, I think, a service to our profession. Is there anything you would like to ask about this activity, me or Gorazd? I think it's good news. We have really something to show, an identity for ECCE with these publications. And I would like to inform you and to remind to those who know it that there was an effort to find the rights of an old book about civil engineering, which is a history of civil engineering by Strauss. It is German. The first was a German edition, 1949. My book is re-edited in London in 1960. It is a very precise book, but it is the best civil engineering history I have read, which reaches until 1950. The problem is we didn't succeed to find if this book it has still writing rights. We cannot edit something, publish something that somebody has to claim that we are. For the moment, we have not succeeded to find if there are any rights or not. There was an effort by ECCE, by its Thomas Telford, structure that we didn't succeed to see if there are legal rights still in England. But it's not, the problem is that it's not only England, because we have maybe to go back to its first edition in Germany. And Andreas has, I don't know if he has any new, because he was, he would try to, as a German-speaking country, etc., to find, because he knows the book, if there are any rights. If so, I think it will be, let's say, how it called, it's a photocopy reprinting, which will be with a very low cost, I suppose, because it will be reprinting a historic book and try to make it available, because it has, you cannot find it now. So this is an additional information about an effort we did to find out if we can photocopy and reprint this book, because it would be, I suppose, an offer to our members, because you cannot find it, and it's a very good and precise book on our history from ancient times to nowadays. So, any questions about this side of our activities? So, I guess we are quite in time, Maria, am I right? With our time schedule? As we have
Yes, we are ahead of time, basically.
time. So, oh no, I'm sorry. We still have the
We still have, yeah, the construction news.
construction presentation, and I'll try to be very, very fast there, because most of the items are already more or less discussed. Just try to come through with the slides, Maria. I hope in 5 minutes we could come through. So it is a distinct point, because I think that this is the heart of should be the heart of our activities, will be oriented to, let's say, enlarge the field of our professions activities, which is of course a great deal in the construction sector. I mean, if I exempt scientists, etc., most of our professional activities are on the construction sector. We have already mentioned the high-level tripartite forum. We have, you can see here on the presentation, and I think it is useful to somehow revise all these matters each year, because we have in a concise document, we have all the points, at least the points that were tackled on these meetings, which is interested, which are the, let's say, the topics that now the Commission and the different committees around the European what are they dealing with? I have to remind you two fundamental, let's say, remarks, that the Commission and the, let's say, the bureaucracy in Brussels is dealing with the construction sector with many, many directors. It is a big problem that you have quite different people to meet if you want to say, speak about transportation or about energy or about whatever. It is a problem that was mentioned by our effort on the Construction 2050, and we have somehow one of the, let's say, the topics we would like to put to the Commission authorities was that they should try to have some kind of, let's say, coordination, something that there used to be some co-repairs or some organizations like this that could be represented the different directories, so that the construction sector could be have someone to talk with who could have the whole picture. So we already said what it was the dealing about. It was the construction, the tripartite forum was supposed to be representing the Commission, the profession, and the public authorities in each country. It's not so representative as so, because mostly the Commission is represented there. Let's go, Maria. We have one more the opportunity to put the holistic point of view of ours, and go on. So the thematic group 1 was attended by Andreas. So you have here the let's say the points. There was investing in a sustainable built environment. Digitalization is also always present on this kind of working groups. And of course, beyond construction 2020 was the question, what is next? Because the strategy for 2020 is ended now, and which will be the next initiative by the European Union. Let's go, Maria. So you have here all the ideas about the investment facilities that could be, of course, now we have combined with that, and of course the recovery plan, which is a funding tool, which we could expect some money from there also, but the question of affordable housing is put now on the agenda of the community. I mean, it's the first time that the need for affordable housing is put. I mean, the social need for having affordable and safe, we would add, housing. Digitalization is always in front of us with a lot of questions, of course, but it's not the time to ask where are we going with all these digital giants, and they have the monopoly of anything here, the data and the software, etc. It is big questions, but it's not the point now. The construction sector has to use digital innovation. Let's go further. Also, there are the energy efficiency and the renovation wave was tackled before. Let's go, Maria. So there are a lot of links so that you can find everything concerning the community activity about, these are the presentations which were presented. Please, let's go. About the Construction Alliance, I have already told you. Go, Maria. The main messages, there was a proclamation about it, common proclamation, which we have put our point of view also. And we have here the working program for which, as I told you, there is a meeting on 29 October, and then it is maybe a real meeting will be planned by the end of this year in Brussels. Let's go. Let's go, Maria. So we have also, in collaboration with other involved organizations who have made a statement on the coronavirus crisis. We had a joint statement with them. And this is the possible public event which was supposed to, the announcement of this initiative had the idea to be done in front of some European let's say, officials, but coronavirus has made it impossible because we all wanted to make it in a more official and, let's say, noise-making way, but we didn't have the opportunity to do it in live. Maria? So, the renovation wave, we've said a lot already. The problem is that the renovation wave, as let's say, communicated just a few days before by the Commission, is still an energy renovation wave and not a holistic one. We have sent our statement in not only in one opportunity, but we have done it at least 2 or 3 times. And I repeat here our statement. You already know it. It's not time to read it again, but it is our point of view, which was explained also in a very analytic way by Platonas before in the session. Please, Maria. And now there is this very recent project, which I think we must show our interest. I don't know, we have other slides about it, Maria, with this initiative. So, okay, this is what I wanted. It is, as you can see, there are 5 actions provided on this this pilot project, 5 areas of action. The first is overview and classification of technologies for seismic strengthening and energy upgrading of existing buildings. Well, it is, let's say, some kind of trying to see which is the state of things now on the different countries. Then there is an action dealing with analysis of technologies of combined upgrading of existing buildings. There also there are some already existing efforts and papers by GRC itself trying to show some, let's say, economic and easy ways of combining the two let's say, efforts. And as I mentioned before, there is also some industries are also making their own, they have undertaking some horizon programs and hub, I don't know how they call them, and they have already making experiments on combined action of insulation materials, I mean plates, but with reinforced with surface grids that could act at least on the out of plane, let's say, to try to reinforce walls on out of plane actions. And they have some, they told me that the results are very, very encouraging. Then this methodologies for assessing the combined effect of upgrading. This methodology of assessing, as I mentioned before, is, I think, the methodology of, in a common way, assessing the vulnerability is a vital, let's say, problem if we want to have a European scale of vulnerability, as we have a European scale of energy deficiency or efficiency, so that we could, with a reasonable way, spend money for upgrading, knowing, let's say, levels of efficiency or inefficiency of seismic response. And then the fourth action is the regional impact assessment and proposals to support an action plan. I don't know what exactly it could mean. And final is the stakeholders engagement. I suppose this is where they plan us to play a role. Although as I told you, I'm trying to make ECCE an insider on the project and not a stakeholder. But maybe it's not possible, but for the moment, we will try to open this door. Next slide, please, Maria. This is already said. Let's go. So the last thing that I would like to say, it is that for the moment, of course, we have been speaking about buildings, but there's a huge problem with infrastructure in Europe, and it is a very happy surprise to see that the International Monetary Fund has reported very recently, I don't remember, but it's a few days before, that trying to stimulate the investment of public fund to help the also as a coronavirus let's say measure, combined with maybe with the recovery plan of Commission to spend money on the infrastructure. It is, for me, it is really a very good news to see the IMF, let's say, adopting visions that remind the old good school of economics, which late years with this globalization came the Keynes ideas, etc., come again to à la mode. So I would like to end here saying that if you look at the numbers, the recovery fund of the community, at least as it comes to Greece, it's not big money. I don't know. I have no idea about what it means for other countries. But if you have to spend in an economy that loses every 6 months 5 or 7 or 8 billion, if you have to invest for the next 7 years, let's say 30 billion, it's zero. So, I'm not very optimistic if this money, and it is, I'm not speaking, let's say, without any having, I do think that Mrs. Lagarde also said that it's too less, too little, and too late. And we have to be much more serious if you want this money to do something, instead of waiting to find dead economies, that European money must come very, very urgently. So with this, I finish. I see Branko Zadnik here. Welcome, Branko. I suppose you joined now because I didn't see you from the beginning. You are very welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Finished my, let's say, presentation. And if I have the time well, we are 1/4 we are late on our program. Maria, is it true? I have spent a quarter from your position, your time.
Basically, no. I think we are on time.
Yeah,
we were supposed to finish the presentation at 3:30. So, and then we would have the open dialogue.
Yes, because we here started half an hour before.
Yeah, okay. But
so I have spent 1/4 from the dialogue.
Okay.
Now it is it's up to you now. It is an open dialogue on the whole agenda. It's not only with the last words I had on the last item.
Aris, maybe Nikolai Kiriukin would like to make the announcement that you wanted to make earlier.
It's open now to you. I mean, it's not, it's announcement, whatever you like to say, because it's things that are not included in this agenda, but it is now your floor. It's our members' time. Whatever it is, we are here to hear it. So, Nikolai, would you start this
Thank you, Aris. Good afternoon for everybody, and thank you for the time which you give me. First of all, I would like to say that it's not an announcement. It's like a it's really part of the open discussion, which after your presentations. Maybe some thoughts of, maybe some thoughts about introduction about Ukraine and how we would like to continue the presentation which you made a few minutes before me. Because Ukraine is outside of European Union, so we I will not tell that we are province, but we are not in the mainstream of all the processes, and that is why we are trying to find some ways of how to be more close in cooperation with the construction community, construction family of Europe. And now, in spite of Corona, our construction sector is working, and we had some discussion with our business and have some requests from these our businesses, large businesses, and probably this is like a part of what you told in your previous presentations. But you have the already existing mechanism, and we are only like a touching to this one, and we would like to have some advices from your side. So the request of our business is to implement BIM technologies on the higher level, and we had some investigations and understood that we have not a clear picture about the BIM technologies in Ukraine. We have, as I can say, the two groups. One is young people who are IT experts, and they are trying to sell some software project. And the other one, like you and me, the old scientists, but I mean, no, age, not about the qualification or ideas, and they would like to say that they invented BIM in 30s of the 60 years ago in the previous century. So both approaches is not good for the business, and that is why we would like to arrange some training course which would be like to prepare the advisors for CEO of the construction companies to give them advice what is really BIM technologies, what they need to use for their businesses. And unfortunately, we have no clear picture of how to prepare this. This is the first our like announced to make support from ECCE. And but it's when I told you that it's clear, very close to the your presentation, that it means that at the end we would like to make like a survey what we understood from this investigation, and to print the book, and under the umbrella of ECCE for this part we already found money for printing. Also, we would like to make like international view of this situation, and that is why we would like to have advices of who would be our the best lectors. So I would like to send some written description of this my oral words, and to distribute it for the interesting parties of the ECCE members, and maybe we can continue and to somebody of our colleagues can help us to work to this course. We would like, and also this is like probably good cooperation, not only inside ECCE, but also a good potential cooperation with ECCE, because now we have the agreement with our government that we will have permission from the government that after this course they will get the governmental approved certificates. So it's like a first step of independent certification of chartered engineers in Ukraine. And also we would like to repeat the invitation. Unfortunately, now it would be online, but we have the contact with our Minister of Construction Industry in Ukraine. We discussed that the idea of this course should be discussed on European level, and I hope that we will have such teleconference in nearest future with you and this minister and our side to discuss all the topics. Certainly after we will have our vision, joint vision on our level. So this is very shortly what I would like to tell. And the main idea is we will send you in the future the written description of our course, and we would like to invite as much as possible as international participants to make like seminars or discussion what is to make clear picture about these beam technologies in Europe.
Thank you very much, Nikolai. And of course, you are very welcome. We would be delighted if we can help you. Of course, we wait your written ideas, and we will be beside you or your effort to make to help your construction industry to take advantage of all this evolution and revolution. Maybe we are living with drones, robotics, etc., etc. So as soon as we take your proposals, we will answer you, and it is sure that we'll assist you to your effort. Maybe I think Adele has asked. Jeanette, I'm sorry. Jeanette, you have asked to speak.
Yes, it's more of a question, because prior to the corona pandemic, I think the word on everyone's mouth was Brexit. And I'm so sorry, Paul, to bring this up, but I have a question for you. We appreciate the ECCE UK situation as described previously by Aris, but from the civil engineer, how will he or she be affected with regards to working in the UK, or people who are European and are in the UK already? Would that affect them to a great degree?
I guess it is addressed to Paul, eh?
Yes, please. Well, anyone really, but I guess Paul is probably more in the know than I am.
Yeah, the answer is we're still not sure, Jeanette. And Rob, I think Rob Curd is still on the call, so Rob might be able to also add to this answer. But as I understand it, the issue of mutual recognition of qualifications is still part of the negotiation that's currently ongoing. And if you're following the media, then those negotiations are quite difficult at the moment. So we're still not sure what the outcome is going to be.
Okay.
Rob, are you still on the call?
Sorry?
No.
Yeah, I am. I don't have much further to add than that, Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. So we will know more, Jeanette, in the coming weeks.
Yes, I thought you might have a backstory to it all.
I don't, unfortunately. I'm in the same position as all the rest of us. I look on and watch what's going on in these negotiations through the media. It goes up and down, as we can see. But I am optimistic. If you want my own personal view, based on my knowledge of some of the background, I am still optimistic that a deal will be done and that mutual recognition of qualifications will be dealt with as part of that. So hopefully we will get to a sensible outcome for everybody involved.
I know that there is something similar between the ARB and REBA going on. So yes, I look forward to what's happening with our side of the construction industry. Thanks, Paul, for that.
Okay, thank you, Jeanette.
So is your opinion? Nina, you would like to speak? I'm sorry. You raised your hand or not? You like to speak? Please open your microphone. We don't hear you. Open your microphone.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I'm sorry I was not present all the time because we have urgent meeting with our Minister of Construction regarding our situation that we was hit by this earthquake in the March of this year, and now we are in the preparing the lex specialis regarding all this refurbishment of all 25,000 old buildings, old building in the Zagreb that were demolished due to this earthquake. All the damage is approximately about 11 billion euros. So you should know how this mega project is in front of us. So I think that the construction sector regarding this problem with the COVID is also stuck with this earthquake. But it is also possibility for the construction sector to high up their possibility, because all participants such as designer, supervisor, engineer, and all this construction company has future jobs approximately for 10 years for recover all this damage caused by this earthquake. The Croatian Chamber take their participant in all this process for the checking the damage, the quick checking on damage of all 25,000 of this building, especially in the center of the Zagreb. This building was built approximately 100 years ago. All of the masonry, they suffered big damage, and also take involved in the preparation of this new legislative lex specialis for the quicker and for quicker refurbishment, for quicker prepare all this documentation process of construction, and as well as organizing all this process for starting this refurbishing of this building. Regarding the other construction sector in Croatia due to the COVID, I think we don't have a very big problem, because a lot of project financed by EU fund are not stopped. They are going on. The biggest problem is the project in the tourist sector. There is all stopped due to the COVID crisis. So this is the situation now in Croatia.
So it's well, it's a sad thing to hear that the number of damage in Zagreb.
Yes.
We really didn't, at least I hadn't realized that it was such a big disaster.
Yes, from the outside, when you're going down the street, there is no such damage, but all this old building in the center of the Zagreb is cracked inside all over. all over. There is a problem with the roofs. There is a problem with the chimneys. There is a problem with this wall between the high level to the roof, and all the building are cracked, especially schools, hospitals. We have a lot of hospitals in all building more than 100 years old. So from you go outside, you haven't seen such a lot of building that fall down. There is no this problem, but all the buildings are damaged, and they need to be properly recovered to hide their resistance to the earthquake.
So that's why, because you didn't have the collapses, and you see, publicity needs blood to see blood, and blood was not in Zagreb. So this is why we have not estimated that the damage was so great. But
yes, there is one lucky thing. One lucky thing is that earthquake happened on the Sunday early in the morning, and it's a COVID situation. Nobody is in school, nobody is in hospital, nobody is in church. A lot of church was really damaged, and their roofs fall down. So we haven't get a lot of human victims. Only one young girl was dead due to this earthquake, and nobody is on the street, nobody is in the public building, so there is no lot of human victims, and there is only few buildings fall down, but the damage inside this building is really terrible.
So maybe it's an opportunity to rethink about our performance levels, because if this kind of, let's say, rather small damage is generalized all over one town, it is a big problem. I don't know if economically, if we should be much more, let's say, demanding, which will be the limited damage, let's say, performance level we adopt for our buildings. Because if you have a limited, let's say, limited damage, but generalized all over the country, it's a huge problem. I don't know, but if you want any kind of help or let's say opportunity of elaborating new ideas about, let's say, our profession, about how we are facing existing buildings, we are here to help anyhow.
Yes, okay. We established our expert team in Croatia. Our expert team from the Civil University in Zagreb have a great experience due to the situation in Italy and situation in Albania. But also we are looking forward for international experts for help us.
Okay, I don't doubt you have excellent engineers there, but maybe it is an opportunity to, let's say, profit of this experience to maybe to reevaluate some of our aspects on the part 3 of Eurocode 8. Maybe I just put some ideas. So it will be, let's say, a good opportunity to involve some of these let's say, decision makers in the CEN 2050, which deals with Eurocodes, etc. Maybe.
Yes. Yes, we are aware of the thing that all these buildings that are old, more than 100 years can be refurbished according to Eurocode 8, because it is impossible. All this masonry building should be done in a such a way. So we change our legislation in a way that we establish 4 levels of refurbishment. Not all the building will be refurbishment on the same level of the seismic resistance of the building. This masonry building, this masonry building is the center of the Zagreb private house, will be refurbished to the level of 100. I don't know how to say in English. on the level that resistance will be 100 seismic met. The high level resistance of according to the Eurocode 8, only the most important building should be done. There is a 4 level that we done for refurbishing all this damage. This is according to the experience, not in Croatia, according to the international experience, because our expert, Professor Atalic, who is the top expert in this seismic studies, have experience from the Switzerland, from the Italy, from the Albania, and there is not only our knowledge. We are covering knowledge all over the Europe. So all the help and all the knowledge that can help us is appreciated and welcome here, because we are on the really beginning with this process. The process will hold, I think, more than 10 years, definitely.
Okay. So it's nice to hear that everywhere is now understood that we must have some a variety of possible targets when refurbishing building, because let's say the demand that if something has a damage, you must make it like if it was built today,
yes.
out any possibility. So
yes, we have prepared one manual for our engineers together with the Civil University for this urgent program for refurbishment for all these chimneys. I don't know if you see, this is a real picture from the earthquake in Zagreb. There is a damage. I don't know if you can. So this is one manual. Now we are preparing another manual for all the methods that we will present and learn our engineer as far as possible to be able to deal with all this project of covering Zagreb. This is a real picture from the. This is all building from the beginning of the 20th.
And it's a pity that we cannot understand the Croatian. If you have anything written in English, please communicate.
At the moment we don't have, but we will prepare some lectures definitely. We have organized a big conference together with the Civil University of Zagreb that will held 1 year after the earthquake on 22nd of March next year. It will be international conference. I will send you the invitation to join us and prepare maybe some lecture for this event.
That's very important. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much for you.
Please, I think that we have started with earthquakes. I don't know if there is another contribution. That this general meeting was, let's say, more or less a seismic one.
Yes.
So please.
Unfortunately, this earthquake is opportunity for our construction sector, because we have a lot of work to do, and all our engineers we have work and deal with this all problem here in Croatia.
Yeah, unfortunately, we deal with, let's say, disaster.
Yes, this disaster.
So please, is there anything, any other contribution to our discussion?
Aris, if I may.
Please, Nikolai.
I would be, I mean, one of the big results from COVID is the big investments by governments across Europe and the European Commission to improve the economy and keep people in work and invest in infrastructure, particularly green infrastructure. So I would be interested to hear any views from other member organizations as to how they see that working out for engineers in their countries, civil engineers in their countries. Will there be more work? What kind of work will it be? Are we as civil engineers well positioned to do the work? What's the feeling?
In Austria, in parts of Austria, we are living very much on tourism, just as Croatia or other countries. And these projects are postponed or shifted back due to the situation at the moment. But as far as I see, not only in my office, but also with my colleagues, especially infrastructure in all directions is pushed forward by the government. There are lots of projects, and at the moment, most of the engineers are really good at work to bring those projects further, to start them, and therefore to improve the situation in the construction sector. So at the moment, the construction sector in Austria is quite good in shape, and it's sometimes really hard to get a contractor. And this really is going on till mid of next year, as far as I can see at the moment. So I think it's very important that those projects are pushed forward. The only problem is that if you don't have any legal permission for those projects, it's sometimes hard to get it because governmental organizations are not prepared for home office, or most of them. So you have a big delay on the permits. So this should be improved as well. Thank you.
Paul, would you like to say something? Paul, you asked to speak. So it is. I suppose that this is the picture everywhere, Andreas. In my experience in Greece, the biggest problem is the environmental permissions for projects. Take, let's say, 3 or 4 years after the completion of a project to obtain an environmental permission. A lot of projects are not starting because they have not obtained the environmental say conditions. So maybe it's a problem of let's say administration, but I cannot explain why. I mean, the state, when it sees that one administration sector is not enough, just to hire 2 or 3 more engineers, just to make things proceed. It is a reality in many cases that in my professional capacity, I know that are waiting for permission, although money have been agreed.
Maybe a few observations in addition, Aris. I think the firm I work for has offices across Europe, as you know, and we're seeing a number of different things. So projects which have permits already are being pushed forward by government and government agencies. So that's positive. Government and municipal employers of engineers are looking for engineers. They're looking to recruit and to employ from the market. So we can see people being attracted into work for government. And there is a lot more focus on projects which will employ construction workers quickly. So this is about wanting to maintain employment and provide alternative employment to those areas of the economy which are losing workers. such as tourism has been mentioned a few times today, and retail, and that kind of the kind of entertainment side of things is also struggling. So there is an attempt to try to shift certainly the economy towards investing in those projects which can be progressed, and to compensate for the reduction in those sectors which rely on a lot of people being close together, so social interaction. So we are seeing a big pressure in terms of the demand for engineers, and particularly experienced engineers. So I think somebody else mentioned it, Nina mentioned it, it's actually, it seems to be a good time to be an experienced engineer at the moment. There's lots of work to do. The concern perhaps is when those projects run out or progress, that there isn't the pipeline of projects coming behind them. And that might be a worry for next year and the year after. So that's just some observations from my side.
So you remain optimistic, Paul, I see. But,
yes, Aris.
Experienced engineers are well accepted everywhere. Okay.
Maybe as an engineer, I have to be a pessimist, but as somebody looking after a business, I have to be an optimist. So I'm in the middle somewhere, hopefully.
So because I declare myself a healthy pessimist, you see. it's a nice expression, healthy pessimist. Okay. So
yeah, I think we can be optimists. I agree to Paul. It's very hard to find engineers, and even more harder, or it's even harder to find experienced engineers.
So, well, other opinion, other let's say declarations. We accept also let's say papers, positions, whatever. But I want to come back to something that was said, that it seems that we have now let's say two groups of engineers. The young ones that know everything about technology, IT, they can use computer, they know everything about, let's say, digital thing, and the old generation, or maybe the profession itself, I mean, contractors, etc., that for the moment seem to be that there are two separate words. I don't know if this is right, but I have seen very, very oftenly that the experienced engineers, when a young one comes to construction site, bringing all this technology in his mind and maybe his gadgets, etc., are quite negative to what they hear. They say, my experience is better than all this stuff. This is maybe an instinct reaction, but I suppose that you have lived the same, let's say, kind of happenings in all construction sites. So it seems that we have two let's say, groups of engineers, and for the moment they are not communicating as they should, because each one, let's say, has the one has the innovation and the other the experience, and so it seems for the moment that there are some difficulties to share things between us. But it's just maybe it's an old engineer's let's say imagination. I don't know. I hope it is like this. So is there any other contribution to our discussion?
May I add just one sentence? I think one problem we are facing today is that lots of engineers you get from the university or from the high school are very specialized. you know, and as projects get more and more complexity, you also need a generalist who overviews all of it. That's the problem. Yeah? You don't find a generalist who is knowing a part of this, a part of that. Yeah? And this is, I think this will be a problem in the future as well, as in the teaching in a university or in schools is only focused on special items, special areas. So if you have a project where you build something and you have a geotechnician, the geotechnician doesn't know anything about concrete building on that. You know? And on the other hand, the civil engineer working on concrete doesn't know anything about geotechnical reactions of his building. And the communication, they even don't speak the same language. So this is a problem.
Okay. I think we share your point of view, Andreas.
If I may, Aris, a response. Yeah, I think it underlines, Andreas, and I'm sure you'll agree with me, the importance of proper graduate education. So even though graduates may come out of university overly specialized, you know, their education and their training and experience, particularly in the first 5 years, that they get a broad range of experience across a number of disciplines and see things getting built on site. I think is still, you know, it's a very old-fashioned concept, I think, of building your experience, but I think it's still very, very relevant. And I think it's important that, you know, those of us in positions of influence will continue to promote this generalist development of graduates before they then begin to specialize, because I think the issue is that they specialize too young without having that general civil engineering education first.
Okay, well, thank you. So I think it's about time to try to conclude. The next is any other issue? Do we have anything?
Thank you, Paul. And I think this is this leads us to lifelong learning, even for us in our age.
Okay. So I think we can move to let's say any other issue, whatever it means. Is there anything else that you'd like to put or that we must discuss before concluding? So with this, I think that we can conclude our meeting. I think that despite the, let's say, the situation that coronavirus has brought, we did things this year. I think that we have, let's say, a decent report to give to you. We tried, we had done things. And of course, there is a lot of opportunities seem to open before us. Some created by this, let's say, difficult situation. I mean, the point of view of the need of investments and of extra investments to save the economy. And some of them are, let's say, due to our action that made some things to become more understand by community, by the decision makers, that the problem of earthquakes is unfortunately a reality for a big part of Europe, and that this renovation wave must not be limited to just making a better skin to buildings, but try to see what's happening inside, and if these buildings are safe and the bones are in a good condition to bear the new skin and the new, let's say, performances that we demand for energy, etc. So I think we are in a situation that despite the crisis, we have hope for next year, to see the job opportunities to increase, and or to make things oriented in a much more efficient way, so that the money that will be spent on this renovation effort, and the effort is named to duplicate the number of refurbished buildings every year, which is a huge effort, so that this money will be spent in a proper way, and they will give back value for these buildings to become safer and much more healthy to live and economically efficient. So I think that with this, I don't know if we have Maria to say something about our next meeting, or now we cannot make any proposal due to the circumstances. We don't know how it will evaluate, but it seems for the moment that the most possible, let's say, situation will be to have the spring meeting also by digital way. Is it so, or we have to, let's say, to make a plan if things go better to have a proposal for next hosting the meeting? It is very optimistic, but I've seen that there are a lot of optimists in this panel. So maybe we could provide a possible hosting country if circumstances will allow. I don't know, Jeanette, if circumstances allow us to meet, if let's say Malta could host the next, if of course the law of the country and the circumstances will allow, just to have in mind that if we can, let's say, confront a real meeting, that there will be someone to host it.
I will obviously have to discuss this with the rest of council, but from a very recent conversation, we are still willing to host the ECCE conference. Obviously, as you have said, times have been challenging, and Malta was doing very well in the beginning, and over the last few weeks, we have seen the cases increase rather than decrease. So we're hoping that in the next few months, things will stabilize, and perhaps we can have another chat beginning of next year to see how things are evolving. But yes, most definitely, we will try to uphold our invitation for you to join us in our country.
Okay, thank you, Janet, because I think that it is, let's say, at least psychologically healing to feel that there is hope and there is something to plan, as the things will go better and everything will change. Okay, so although we are, let's say, have in mind that much possibly meeting will be in this, at least we have an opportunity and let's say, an option to be in Malta with Janet and in a better world. So with this, I think we can conclude our general meeting. I would like to thank you for taking place and contributing to this first digital General Assembly we had. And we hope, although the next one will be much more easy to come through, I hope that the circumstances will allow us to meet really in Malta. So have a nice day, the rest of your day. And it's a nice weekend. Fortunately, it's Friday. And hope to stay safe and healthy. So goodbye to all.
Yes, everyone.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
Goodbye to all.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
everybody. Thank you, Maria.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Ari.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Maria.
Thank you,
Bye.
Maria.
It was a
Bye.
pleasure.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi, everyone.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye for
Bye,
everybody.
everybody. Stay safe.
Goodbye. Stay safe.
Goodbye, everybody.
To the next meeting.
Yes.
Next
And
meeting.
pleasure to have opportunity to see you. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye. Goodbye.
Goodbye to all.
Goodbye.
Bye, video.
Bye-bye. I'm seeing you with
Bye.
it. Bye-bye.
Goodbye for everybody.